Are you sure?
Steve's son-in-law or whatever, gave me that J-Bob or something. I've been trying to figure out how to hook that up. Just a bunch of disc. It's a like 24 bay.
Oh,
It's kind of weird. I don't know too much about the stuff. It's been, I don't know. I looked at a video a while back and I forgot all about it. About building your own. It's a lot cheaper than I thought it was. When I looked at it before. I don't know if it's worth messing with it or not. It is.
so it's like a NAS.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a 24 drive NAS, but it's got, um, 2.5 inch drive base, back plane or whatever. The problem with 2.5 inch drives, pretty small, but it came to drive, so I mean, it's a bunch of little 250 gig NVMe or SSD drive, those what's in it. So all of them set together, it's like 6 terabytes.
That's not
It's
painful.
not horrible. I think this is even enough redundancy, I think, to not worry about losing, to set it up for 4 or 5 failures and they'll get hurt. But it doesn't have the controller. It's kind of funny. So it's a size 2. It what they call it, expander cards in it, which I whatever
Yeah,
it was.
it's something new. That's new to me.
And it doesn't have. You have to have an interface card between it and the computer
Okay.
to talk to the array, right? And manage it. So I need like an HBA or funky cables like he's bringing me.
HBA and funky cables.
You are awesome some days.
Say it 3 times and it'll
It
show
just
up.
magically shows up. So one of the things I realized this morning though was what's funny is because they off the back of the SAS card, they plug into the card and come out the other side as 8085s or 88s. But they're 8087s going into the other side. When we'll plug into those Perca cards I have with the Dell Precisions 3600s.
Oh.
So I didn't know I had those until, or realized that until this morning, and I got thinking, I wonder if I can jimmy rig a computer close enough that those like 6-inch cords would reach to the back of the card.
These are a little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
That's a next level
Yeah.
industrial
Yeah.
thing about. I've never seen.
That's what's on the back of the back plane.
That's what's on the outside of it, I think.
No, 8087 or 88.
What are those?
Little narrow thing that goes down the slot. I'm not really sure what these are.
I mean,
They
this.
look like that. Only a
why-
different package.
They're probably the 8446s or something.
Mhm.
That's me.
That almost looks like
Probably the external version of those.
Huh.
Oh. I don't know what controller you get. Might be able to use it. I don't know.
Well,
That's what there is. That with that. Okay. If that's what that says, that's.
that's what these cables are hooked to.
Hmm.
And I never even looked at the backside of that J-Bob. So
Yeah, the back of the J-Bob's 8088.
I don't know what that is.
You ever seen like a fiber version of this?
Yeah,
So it's basically one of these with a slit in the middle.
that's a fiber version of that.
Well, but I'm saying is. Oh, okay, yeah. So like what plugs in on this side,
Yeah,
that's what it looks like, but it's metal for an
but it's
8088.
fiber.
No, it's like this. But it's a little metal box tube that goes inside that. It's real long, about
Okay.
lay long.
Man, that is some funky. How old is this stuff?
Not terribly.
Okay, because
These are just gigabit though.
I mean, I've been, of course, I've been out of the computer thing for a
These may be
long
10
time.
gig.
But I was buying
Yeah.
industrial controllers and stuff at auctions, and I've never seen anything like this.
So this is called a SPF Plus. These are available up to 40 gig.
Okay,
These are 10. Well, I take
That's
it
so-
back. These are available up to 20. The
Okay.
ones that are 40 are a little bit wider.
I've seen plenty of fiber channel stuff, but I've just this is all new. This is all
So that should be a pair of 10 gigs. This is a pair of gig. These are out of a checkpoint, so they should be pretty decent. I think they're gig. I don't know.
oh.
FLX,
So mini display port
Maybe not.
to full size display port.
yeah, he's got a machine that has
Mini display.
an NVIDIA with 4 mini display port.
So,
This one this apparently has a mini display port on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've been curious about it just because, just for the sake of being curious, not that I need to use it. Well, there's a VGA, display port to VGA. I got plenty of VGA monitors.
I
play
will-
with that at the house.
I will look for these cables or this to that.
yeah, whichever, that would be nice, what would you do? Save me $10.
These are kind of cool. These, you push them in and they lock in place. And then it's got this little lever on it. When you pull the lever out, it unlocks. They're neat. My router uses one of these.
I've seen some fiber channel stuff but the end of it was different. This end was different.
I mean, that's normal SFP.
I don't
Again,
know. Of course,
There's one that's a little bit, this is SFP plus. And I think the
well,
larger one.
I mean, when I was going to auctions, it had to have been 20 years ago.
Yeah,
That stuff was probably brand new and still in use. I know you went on to that stuff about 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I was able to buy a lot of industrial stuff and turn it quickly and make
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
bank off of it, but I've never seen anything like that. That's this cable is completely new.
Well, I would
I
say
mean,
size
completely
wasn't
new.
even around back then, it was cereal. And, ultra scuzzy or whatever back then. So, and that was done with, on a 25 penny, watching the TV.
If you need cables for these, that's what we're pulling out now. We're putting in something a little bit narrower. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't have any fiber.
I don't do any of the networking stuff there, but I certainly go through the leftovers. I've got cables that are probably long enough to reach out to your shed.
No,
Yeah, so I mean, if you bury a garden hose, you can push it through and probably have it last 20 years.
yeah. I wouldn't really plan to run it that far out there.
One of the things my ex did seriously irritated me. This was 20 years ago. I was at a little laptop store in northern Kentucky down by Florence Mall and stuff. And they're still there,
Mhm.
but they had a bin of cards. And I go in and I see these matched cards that I've never seen before. What the heck? How much? $2 each. Okay. Here's your $5 and give me back some change. I take them home, Google them, or actually I Alta Vista them. They're HP GPIB cards. HP General Purpose Information Bus. Hooks up to oscilloscopes and plotters and all sorts of stuff. And they were $2,000 a piece. And on eBay at the time, they were going for $1,400. And I printed out all the stuff on them, and I didn't do eBay at the time, but she did. She listed stuff every week, books and crap. I'm like, list these. Ask 1,000 for them. Well, what are HP General Purpose Bus cards? They're used in industrial stuff. Well, I don't know anything about those. Here's the printout. And she never did list those things, and I wouldn't. I got so angry about it, I just wouldn't.
That would have been like immediately.
Oh, yeah.
I probably would have listed both for like 1,600 or something. Because I had no money tied up in them.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
sit
and
on-
if somebody would have offered me 100, okay,
Okay.
that's good enough for me.
Hey, I can't test them. I have no idea what these actually are.
Yeah.
I know what they say they are.
Yeah, I
Here
went
it
back,
is, 1,600, buy it now, or best offer.
and when I saw what they were worth, I made sure I got another trip out to Northern Kentucky. I went through all their stuff.
Yeah.
Found 4 or 5 other cards and like,
Nice.
Was that one of the recycling places or?
no.
No, it was a computer store that probably some industrial place down there gave it to them
Yeah,
for scrap and just to get them out of their shop, and they didn't have a clue what they were.
there is a recycler down there.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of work with.
Yeah. Well, there's several recycling.
Yeah. Trying to remember what the name of it is.
Appreciate this, sir. I might actually
The
have to go ahead and pull the trigger on one of these stupid Canadian mouse thingies.
the recycler that I used to deal with, he had a little teeny tiny retail shop in the front of his place. And he would look on eBay to see what some of that stuff was worth that he was getting to site.
Mhm.
But he never ever asked for eBay prices. He was always like, 30-40% cheaper than eBay. So it was like, okay, how about instead of you giving me cash this time, I just rummage through your parts bin. Okay, that's fine. Okay. All that stuff that, it was all money. It was all.
Yeah. The recycler I've dealt with a fair amount down there is Blair Technology Group.
I can't remember who. Blair doesn't sound right.
They're on Boron Drive, used to be, the local toy store. Johnny's Toys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know.
The castle is still there.
I know where you're talking. That's not right. The guy that I dealt with, I'm pretty sure he was a one-man army. He had a huge warehouse, but every time I was down there, he was the only one I ever saw. So I'm pretty sure he was a one-man army.
So Blair's been in business since Windows 3. I remember going there with a friend before 95 came out, so it would have been 94 or early 95. And we picked up a pallet of the cow folks.
Gateway.
Gateway, yeah, Gateway 486 DX266 for like $400.
You rob it for gold.
Oh, so I was there with a friend named Bob. We worked together in Newtown. And he was putting machines together and selling them cheap and giving them away.
Yeah.
That was kind of the beginning of Linux. I got 4 or 5 of them loaded Yggdrasil on a couple of them. That was fun.
I bought a pallet of, it probably was 40 Pentium Pros.
Mhm.
What I didn't know when I actually bought them was they were all quad
Mhm.
Pentium Pro. There were
Oh.
four freaking Pentium Pros.
Okay. So SMB machines.
I had no idea that that's what I was buying when I bought them. I paid like $75 for this pallet because everybody looked at this pallet and went, it's old junk. And it was
Mhm.
old junk. I took and pulled all the Pentium Pros out because they were all gold. And I took them down to that recycler and I think he gave me like $4,000 for all of those. And I was like, okay, cool. And he said, what are you gonna do with the rest of them? Or the rest of the parts? And I said, when I first met him, all he was interested in was buying gold.
Mhm. And there was a lot in those.
And there was a lot in those. And then he said, well, what are you doing with the rest of the machine? And I said, well, I guess I'm throwing it out. He's, bring it down, bring them down here. I'll buy the green boards, I'll buy the cases, I'll buy all that stuff. So separate them all out. Separate everything into its own separate bins, and I'll give you more money. Because if I have to separate it, you get less money.
Right.
I think I got another 500, $600 out of that deal.
Mhm.
So a $75 investment yielded 4,500.
Nice.
Well, I figured you realized that there was probably as much gold in the board or more than
I-
there was in the chips.
I didn't think about it, but I mean,
Well, that's what cracked me up because I was looking at that a while back and I thought it was odd. It's like there's actually more in the motherboard for those Pentium Pros than there was in the CPU.
really,
And I was like, well, son of a bitch.
he gave me a hellacious deal on those Pentium Pros. It must take a lot more to get the gold out of the motherboards
Well, yeah, well,
because he didn't pay nearly as much for the green.
I
board.
don't think it is because you don't have to necessarily crush up the board to get it out of it like you do the chips to get out of all the
Okay.
ceramic out. But you gotta get the vinyl off or whatever the coating.
He didn't give me anywhere near as much for.
But
But
they usually don't. So, but that's why I don't know. They came out with a spec here a while back, and the highest gold motherboard was outside of like a Sun or something like that was the Pentium Pro motherboard at 1.3 ounces of board.
Suns are high in gold.
I had,
Oh yeah,
I mean, there were a lot of
oh yeah, those old stuff like that, those core processors and stuff like off the
I
kickbox and stuff. That's all solid gold back then. That's part of the reason why they were $10,000 computers, right?
well, that's why Pentium Pros, 486s, 386s,
Yeah.
they were all gold.
Yeah, they were almost
It was
solid
all
gold.
gold.
I
Yeah.
have a collection of CPUs that I'm gonna turn into coasters. I'm looking for some Pentium Pros.
Well,
I don't have any anymore. They're gone.
the other day,
I turned them into money.
the 480, was it the 486 actually passed the Pentium Pro. So there's something else in there that's
Yeah.
worth way more than the gold.
The 486 has value?
Yeah,
yeah, lots of that. I took,
I don't know if it's by iridium or
yes.
there's something screwy. I dug around on the site trying to find the chemistry makeup of thing, and I was shocked it was almost twice what a Pentium Pro was. And it's
I
like,
took him a
Pentium
bunch
Pro
of,
been the king of the mountain for years.
I took him a bunch of 486s, and he was like, I don't really care about the golden 486. He didn't tell me what was in there, but
Yeah, well, that's, Dad was telling me about it, that one of his, because he still works at a scrap place off and on. And the scrap place or whatever they were dealing with said that they send the gold back. And it was like $50 a chip.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if you're paying $50 a chip and you're giving me back the gold at an ounce of gold, and the gold's at, like 2.5 grand or something. Like, what the hell is in the chip?
he said, at the time, he said, I took him a small stack of Pentium Pros, not many, and 15 or 20 486 DX chips or
Yeah.
something. And he went, okay, I'm going to do you a favor because you come down here all the time. And he separated the two, and he said, I'm just going to give you this much for this and this much for this. And I'm like, so you're telling me that it's worth more?
Yeah. Yeah,
I said, well, it's good to know because I'll just start throwing the 486s in a different box.
I was looking at that a while back and I was like, that just, no, it really doesn't make sense to me either. The scrap place over on Round Bottom won't take shit anymore. They said even if you break the computer down, so you break the computer down at 50 cents a pound.
That's really,
Yeah. So if you pull anything out of it all, they dock it to jack nothing.
so they want the complete.
They want the whole computer intact. But even at that, they're only paying like $1.20. So it's like,
That's
what's the point?
hardly worth doing.
It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I've probably got $40 worth of computers sitting there.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, that's, you can eBay the parts out for more than what the scrap place is
Yeah,
giving.
You could turn around and sell them for
Yeah,
40,
well, that's
50
what I
bucks a
mean.
piece.
The CPU alone, or the price of gold right now is worth more than what the scrap place is giving you by a mountain. But it's like, so I don't know if you got to find who they sell it to. But yeah, because there was a couple kids in there scrapping a whole bunch of computers when I was down there buying stainless steel a while back, and I never thought about asking it when I was there, when they were real hesitant about me having access to the computers if they were scrapped. They didn't want me rummaging and bin picking, but they said that they paid, and it was stupid what they're like, what we pay, like,
I know. This was
something
wild.
with computers intact, and then like 50 cents if you take something out of it.
This was like a long time. Cohen didn't pay nothing for computers. They wouldn't give you not even 1/10 of
Yeah,
what the guy down in Kentucky would give. And
yeah. Well, it's
I looked at it.
vendors and retailers and.
Well, Cohen was closest, so we took some stuff to Cohen, and that they offered us some piddly amount of money, and I was like, load it back in the car. I'm taking it to Kentucky. It was worth driving to Kentucky because at least, the $100 that Cohen offered us or $1,000 from this guy in Kentucky. Yeah, it's worth using a tank of gas to go down there.
Yeah, well, that's what cracks me up, because where Dad works, they buy from the scrap places, right, and sell to the smelt or sort of whatever direct. So they pay way better, but then they don't usually deal with the public,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting what some of the stuff is, but then like what Round Bottom charges to buy stuff from them is stupid. It's jacked up really bad, but it's still cheaper than going buying it.
I was actually kind of impressed with Cohen. Their battery prices. I had a bunch of dead, lead acid batteries that I had been carrying around in the back of the car forever. And I just finally decided, okay, it doesn't matter. I'm carrying them around. They're dead. They're not worth
Yeah.
No.
Whatever you can get out. Well,
whatever I can get out of them. And they weighed them and they gave me like 85 or 90 bucks. And I was like, okay.
No one pays for batteries?
They used to. I don't know if they still do.
Yeah.
I want to say Class A lead, last time I looked was like 65 bucks a pound.
Yeah, lead was for a while, it was worth some money. I don't know if it still is.
It probably is. But it is climbing Class A electronic lead is.
No, no, I mean battery.
Well, that's battery lead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Usually.
I was
Or no, what they were really common in was the old monitors, the picture tube
It-
shields.
it was
that
I
they
think
put
I had-
messing with CRTs for whatever reason.
I think I had 4 batteries and they gave me like that much. And I'm like, okay.
So I don't know if the EPA came down on them for whatever gas is stored in the CRT.
Hey,
No, it's a vacuum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Though there's phosphor dust in there, so
Yeah,
that can get you.
There's something in there that EPA just not really killed that whole market, but
At one point, me and a friend wanted to see just how hard it was to break a monitor. And we had a bunch of Sherwood VT120 terminals. And we took it out on the loading dock. We had a dumpster back there. There was this piece of conduit people had used to push stuff in, snag it off the sides and stuff. Get that thing as hard as we could with that conduit and bent the conduit. Didn't even get a mark on the tube. Damn. We ended up with a ball peen hammer, just wailing the thing. It is hard to break a tube, at least going through the front. You break off the little nipple on the back real easy,
Yeah.
and then it's not too long. Man,
well, I used to. Well, the last couple I had, I took the coil off the back,
mhm.
the copper bundle or whatever. I was like, well, I didn't care if it broke or not, and take it there. I don't think I ever did break one. I was shocked that it came off. Usually they're glued on there pretty
Yeah,
dang good. Yeah.
I tried to break an old CRT. Cause I thought you were supposed to if you were throwing them away.
mhm.
And I ended up helping the garbage guy put it in the thing, but I mean, it's pretty huge.
Big old console.
Oh, yeah, he was like, I'll take that if you help me. And I'm like, okay, so it's gotta go away.
He wanted to pound Geneva, probably one of the last stops or something.
Yeah, and I said, it's not broken. He said, it's all right. I know about it. So when I hear the explosion or the implosion, I won't freak out. I'm like, okay. But I guess you're supposed to break them so they don't implode or whatever when they're being
Yes.
crushed
Yeah.
and freak them out.
They'll still good thing.
Yeah, it was quite fun. That was I hit that thing with a sledgehammer and I hit it with my car. I did all kinds of stuff to try to break the damn thing.
Yeah, the front of a TV was 1.5 inches thick,
Yeah,
and it's leaded glass, which is strong stuff.
Yeah.
It was in theory to block X-rays. I don't know how well it did or not.
It doesn't. But still radiation. It cuts it down a lot, so it don't burn your eyes.
that's what's wrong with me. Sitting in front of the TV all those
He
years.
sits so close.
You never took a meter to the front of the TV?
Didn't have a
Radiation?
Geiger counter until I didn't have any CRTs left. But if anybody
Well,
needs a Geiger
plasma
counter,
puts
I have
out just,
several.
I say plasma actually put out more than a CRT did.
Really?
Yeah, that's why they got so hot.
Yeah, but they put out heat. They didn't put out X-rays.
Yeah, I did. That's what the heat came from. The plasma,
Then a neon bulb should make a lot of X-rays as well. I don't think they do. They're very single color light source.
plasma, or the plasma made a gas meter go off way more than a
Huh.
CRT usually did. Yeah. But then I said, what's funny, like LED and LCD don't jack.
Right.
They're like a tenth of what a CRT was. Or less. But plasma TVs put off quite a bit right at the screen.
So. Vicente. He texted me earlier today and said that he has COVID, so he won't be here.
Oh, well,
Um,
Mhm.
yeah,
do we send him pictures from the mushroom later and go, no.
if we could. Is
You-
that where we're going to eat at?
No, I don't know. That's his favorite place to go, I think. So
He likes the mushrooms.
I figured because he was real big at Ray's the other day about going to dinner tonight.
Mhm.
Said, we doing dinner? I was like, yeah, I think so. He's like, awesome. So
Well, apparently COVID put a nix on that whole plan.
is that what Ray ended up having? Because Ray had the
I
sniffles.
don't know, Ray's sitting there, but
You didn't?
he's
Did you give us all COVID, Ray?
I don't know what's going on with Ray. Ray's not talking.
Hey, I feel perfectly fine. I am feeling just fine right now.
So now if we all get sick, we know it was Vicente.
I feel perfectly fine. I felt like crap on Monday, Tuesday. I feel perfectly fine today. I'm sneezing, blowing my nose, but it wasn't nothing like when I had COVID a couple years ago.
Oh,
All I wanted to do when I had COVID was sleep. That's all I wanted to do.
Oddly enough, that's all I want to do anytime.
I definitely slept a lot in the past 3 days. Oh my Lord. On the airplane, I got home at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I slept until 8 a.m. next day. 9, 10 a.m.
Are you where are you? Or
Well,
say
I got done with the laser stuff on Saturday. I woke up and let's see, I got my stuff ready. I missed part of a funeral and went straight to the airport. And they lost my luggage. Supposed to go to Orlando. I went to Tampa. My luggage went to Orlando, Miami, Tampa, Charlotte, then CVG, and then I think it's being delivered now, my house. But I never saw my luggage the whole time I was gone. So it all got lost because of the weather. There was a hurricane. I went to Tampa, helped out some people, and now I'm north of Chicago. So I'm driving home tonight.
Globetrotter.
pretty much.
I'll be going down to this weekend is the amateur radio convention in Milford.
Yep.
Or down by Milford.
You mean Owensville?
Yeah. Down in the fairgrounds or wherever it is. I know my dad's going to meet me on early Saturday morning, and I got plans on going. So, yep, all good.
You gotta get there early if you want to spend any time there.
Yeah, it's a short one, but I thought it was 2 days. I thought they had it for 2 days.
No, it's honestly, I
It's one day.
so hard. It's 8 to
Is it
2,
1 day?
and it's $10 in and $5 if you want a booth.
Yeah,
So I thought that was
I knew it was
ridiculously
cheap.
reasonable, but I mean, I don't have anything to throw a booth with.
I'm going to take a couple of 3D printers, and I've got a box of stuff I've been wanting to get rid of, so I think I'll be selling some stuff.
What's in your box, Ray?
Networking stuff, remote controls, TV remote controls, bunch of goofy stuff, a whole bunch of stuff. I got a whole urgent care supply full of crap I need to get rid of.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Any recommendations on little cheap CNC stuff?
cheap CNC stuff. Like what size CNC stuff?
Oh, like the little Dremel etchers or something, or
I've got one in a box that I haven't put together. It's been in a box for 5 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one. It was made pretty decent. It would do about 4 inches by 4 inches. It was accurate. And stupid small.
Kind of what mine is.
But it was
Mine-
small.
Mine's got a laser head and a cutting tool. And it's big.
Oh, that snap.
No, it's not a snap. It's pre-snap.
Oh,
It's no.
does it work? He's like, oh no, it's still in the box. Never put it together.
You know, I actually looked to find the instruction. I'm glad I downloaded them and they're somewhere on some hard drive. I actually looked to find the instructions to put it together the other day and I'm like, holy cow, it's gone. It's just not, it's one of these cheap Chinese.
Well, that's what I figured. That's what
I think it cost $120 and I just never put it together.
I was looking at some of that stuff the other day and was debating on whether to pull the trigger on one of those little $100 kits or something to tinker with or build my own. I got enough stuff laying around in the Dremel and crap.
Yep.
We just strap it onto something. But
I mean, the only thing that I would say that it's got that you can't source easily is probably the controller for the motors. And that's just an Arduino board with a G-code interpreter on it.
Yep.
It's not hard to source it. It's just, that's probably a part that you don't have in your stuff.
an Arduino.
Hey, you know what you guys ought to do?
G-code, the G-code interpreter. Do what?
There's a Beagle Bone Green out there, and you can get a G-code interpreter that goes onto a Beagle Bone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got some interface boards that go from the Beagle Bone out to like pulse, direction, relay, stuff like that. I'd be really, really happy if somebody could make a Beagle Bone Green do a CNC router.
I don't have any people
Arduino
bones.
can, so
I got like 3 of them.
Yeah, I always, the machine that he pulled those out of,
mhm.
I always thought that was kind of overkill for that machine.
Trying to remember the specs in the green. I got nothing.
It's,
It's got Wi-Fi built in, doesn't it?
It's got networking. I believe it does not have Wi-Fi.
I
I
thought,
think it's got
not mine,
like 2 USBs and Ethernet, but not Wi-Fi.
those stupid little G-code interpreter boards for the Arduino, they're not, they weren't hard to find. They were like $20 or something.
Hmm.
I haven't looked for one of those in a while. But that's probably the only part that you'd really need to source from somewhere. I mean, you probably have the extrusion and everything else you need to make it work.
What I've got are these controller boards that came out of some other laser machines.
Yeah.
So they were using pulse and direction for the laser, laser movement, X, Y, and Z, and a rotary axis. And then they've got like 2 relays. I guess you could use them for exhaust and air and or spindle or whatever. I think there's some auxiliary other outputs on it. I don't know. Some stuff.
I always wondered why you needed a full Linux computer inside for doing that though.
Well, I don't know if it's still an active project, but there was a Linux controller for actual industrial machinery. It was pretty sweet. It dealt with feedback and servo positioning. So
Maybe that's what's
I don't
on the
remember. I think it was called EMC.
Yeah. We ought to fire one of those up and see what software is actually on that.
The Bagel Bone?
Yeah,
Can you pull the software off of it? I don't think so.
maybe.
What is it? What does it have in it? Is it programmable like a Arduino, or does it have an operating system in it?
It's running Linux, or it should be running some version of Linux.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's got a kernel and file space.
I'm fairly sure that it is the version of Linux is kind of an embedded version, and it's inside of Flash. It's stored in Flash.
Hmm. Okay.
So you should be able to maybe stick a USB stick in and back it up, maybe. Maybe we ought to see what software's on there. Just out of curiosity.
Saturday afternoon, Sunday.
I have
I got
no
three.
idea what's going on this weekend.
I give you 3 chances to do it.
You,
The 3 boards.
you know what's going on this weekend. You're going to a hamvention.
Yeah.
You can do it
Well,
now.
I said Saturday afternoon.
I don't know. That might be interesting to see.
And probably get some help with the hamvention.
You probably could.
So it was EMC2 and it's now Linux CMC. And you can use it to run with Finook robots and pretty much anything you want.
Was it?
You can run ladder logic on printer ports if you
Yeah.
need to.
Was it the green that was meant for the robots for robotics? Or was it the black? I don't think it was the black. I think the black was.
Yeah, I've got
So I have somebody that was using BeagleBone Black as the controller for it's called Open ROV was the company. So it was a remote operated vehicle underwater.
Yeah,
And
and they were using the black.
they're using BeagleBone Black.
I can't. One of them was specifically made for robotics, and I don't remember which one that was.
It's probably the green because it's got 2 rows of pins.
Well, so does the black.
They all do.
Yeah.
And they were designed to fit in an Altoids tin gracefully. So it's a 1 gig ARM Cortex A8 with an SGX 3D engine, floating point coprocessor, and 2 32-bit programmable RTUs.
That's the green.
Yeah.
That's probably the one that I'm thinking of that was specifically meant for robots.
Runs Debian, Android, Ubuntu, Cloud9, and more.
Is Cloud9 even a thing anymore? I remember Cloud9. I haven't used Cloud9 in I don't know how long.
There are a lot of boards made for that thing.
Yes. League of Legends team, Cloud9. I don't think Cloud9 is. Oh, Cloud9 was absorbed by Amazon, AWS.
There that is.
There we go.
So I was inspired by your 5x5 and got me $3. How can you? We're trying to learn MicroPython, and the Pico 2 is available as of today.
Yes, I was going to say something.
And
Is
as
it,
toys go, I bought this battery pack.
yes. I don't think Micro Center has the Pico 2 yet.
No, probably not. The people that are selling it don't have it yet.
Yeah.
I tried. I needed something with 4 outputs because we're gonna go on vacation later. Have 3 things to charge and maybe a 4th. I discharged that pretty far and measured current going into it. I think it's over 20,000 milliamp hours.
How much was this? Or do I want to know?
I think 30. Hold on. I'm not even sure where I got it.
That's a heck of a.
I think Amazon. But
It's
maybe
got
not.
4 thingies, 4 USB ports, and 8-pin in and a micro in. I'm guessing one of those is for charging.
They both are.
They both are.
Yeah, Lightning and Micro.
Oh,
Kind of
okay.
irritated me that it didn't have USB-C. But
Yeah, that seems. I've got a small stack of USB batteries like that, but that one says that it's 2.4 amps on all the ports.
yeah. So the company I bought it from,
Recently went out of business.
here we go. $26.
Amazon,
It's available in black, rose gold, or mint.
can you send me the link? Or so it'll be more because I'm wanting it. And Amazon changes their price based on what I want.
I'll tell you, Amazon kind of annoys me anymore. I've been trying to figure out what to buy, and this stuff's cheaper every place else just about.
I saw, what was it? It was a robotic dog. And it shocked me because it's a kit that you put together. It's got a ESP 32 S3 in it, all metal. It's $500 on AliExpress. It's $299 on Amazon. And I
We need Amazon Chinese store.
probably, but
Yeah, I've noticed that the AliExpress, a lot of the vendors have doubled their prices in the last month.
I went. AliExpress used to be the cheap place.
Yeah,
Mm.
well, they're realizing Americans are more than willing to pay stupid money, so a lot of the vendors just have gone up a lot.
Oh.
Because, well, it's kind of funny is because I watched a big breakdown of talking about Amazon and how they're getting their clock cleaned by Temu and
Yeah.
another thing, because of how much, their stock, if you're, as it was explaining, floor mat, right? Most people on Amazon don't care. It takes them a week to get a floor mat if they're spending $1.50 instead of $40 for the same exact floor mat. So that the speed isn't the thing Amazon subscribers care about too much. They want to, people are willing to wait a week if it's going to cost them 1/10 of the price. So Amazon is now doing direct, like AliExpress shipment now,
Yeah.
and undercutting all of their vendors, or their resellers, right? In their Chinese store to try to stay in the market, because Temu and the other one have taken like 80% of their market share in the last 2 years.
I have bought. I have bought two things off of Temu. Both of them were what
Claim to be,
they were what they claimed to be,
but
but they were the cheapest pieces of plastic and pieces of
no.
whatever, yeah.
Well, that's my
Now,
problem.
now the good thing is it was free shipping and it was less than $10. I mean, who cares? But
Well, that's the thing, you don't, it's Temu and the other one, or from what I understand, are basically what AliExpress was 10 years ago, right? You know,
yeah,
but
but
AliExpress though, they back, you have to prove that, hey, you got what you ordered, right?
AliExpress 10 years ago, the stuff was good. It might have been a lot cheaper, but it was decent stuff.
Well,
Temu, it's cheap, it's a lot cheaper, but it's cheaper.
Yeah.
It's cheaper
yeah, it's knockoff.
because it's cheaper.
Knockoff. Well, but as I say, I had problems with Ali, whether you ever actually got what you ordered, right? Way back in the day, or it being broke when you got it, and it's not like you can like just send the crap back.
I had
Um,
one issue that yes, something got broke. And the seller was very, very accommodating. And they did end up sending me another piece. I didn't have to send them the other thing.
I never got.
I
I got
mean,
burned quite a
one-
few times on AliExpress, and I quit using it for a long time.
I've only gotten one thing on AliExpress that I argued about. I got some laser printable wire labels. And they folded them up and put them in an
Yeah.
envelope. It's like, they're not laser printable anymore. And fold it and the
Yeah,
two stripes of labels lift up.
I have had a couple of things, few things not show up. That was relatively painless, not.
Yeah.
Not, it wasn't painless, but it was relatively painless.
I just kind of wish I never let that stop me, because I think it would have made a lot of money off ordering stuff from AliExpress and then reselling on Amazon.
AliExpress,
That was a good way to make money for a few years there.
the thing about AliExpress is they are, as far as I know, they are still putting the money in an escrow account. So the sellers are very motivated to make you happy.
Oh, yeah.
So if you are not happy,
I was gonna say, I haven't had any problems with anything I've gotten from AliExpress the last dozen times I've ordered from them. But like I said, I
That's-
went a good 5 years not buying squat from them because I just didn't want to.
but that's why you have to go in and confirm that you've got the order, because then they will release the funds to the
Yeah.
seller. The seller is required to ship within 5 days or 7 days or something. Not that they're required to guarantee that it will get to you in any specific time, but it's, they have to ship it within 7 days or something.
But I say, I've actually gotten burned more recently from Amazon.
Yes, me too. Now, my middle kid, she buys a lot of Temu stuff. 99% of it, she has gotten just taken, she ordered, I don't remember what it was. She thought she was getting like a full-size blanket, like, at least a twin-size blanket.
Yeah.
And it came and it was about the size for a cat.
Yeah, I
It was
would
like,
argue that.
The
It was like
dimensions were in
$3.
centimeters instead of inches
yeah,
or
Millimeters.
millimeters.
millimeters, centimeters.
That's what I learned working with all this extruded aluminum. It's all in millimeters when you order it. It's like, what's up? It's like, I don't know how many inches or millimeters are in a freaking.
The problem is when you go back
20,
and you read
4.5 per inch, or 25.4 per inch.
the problem is when you go back and you reread the thing,
Mhm.
it very clearly states that it is not
Yeah,
this, it is,
I haven't
A miniature.
clicked on a Temu ad yet.
I mean,
Yeah,
so,
I watched that lecture on it, and just for shits and giggles, like I went to Temu's page and I was like, dude, this is scammier than AliExpress. I'd rather
Mhm.
shop on it. At least I know, when the price is dirt cheap on AliExpress, it's probably a scam. But then I'm noticing, looking around on AliExpress, is like stuff that used to be $4 is now like 100, and it's like
Yeah, see,
those CPUs I ordered,
Mhm.
a while back, they were $13. They're like $150 now.
I have
And I'm
found
like, what the, because they're realizing Americans will pay it, you
Yeah.
know?
M5 Stack, which is who I like buying a lot of the microcontrollers from. They used to be very expensive. Used to be. Lily Go was the cheap one. And that, it's all flipped. Now M5 Stack, it's dirt cheap compared to what Lily Go is charging for a very similar item. It's like, well, why would I buy something from you guys when I could get it in a nice case from
Yeah.
for
Well,
$7 cheaper?
That's has a middleman injected theirself in the search algorithm on the page too, because it was like that was those people that got arrested at Amazon here a few years ago was that they were routing traffic to specific vendors,
Yeah.
and not letting you see who the lowest price was, It's like these MDD drives I buy. It's like the other day I had somebody pulled up and they were reasonable and they were new, and now I can't find the new,
See,
and the price is $100 higher, and it's like, what the?
so that's what drives me a little crazy about Amazon, and AliExpress is bad about it. Is if you're not logged into the site, you'll get one price, and if as soon as you log in, you get a different price.
Yeah, well, because it's your first time buying price.
Yeah, which
know.
is basically a
They're
scam.
to get you. And those still, like, so I saw that the other day because I was looking at those 10 gig switches and they were like, 80% off, and I was like, when I logged in, then they were like, not 80%
Not
off.
80%
And I
off.
was like, and it was restricted to 3 instead of 1. And I'm like, at the price, because it was their, Prime Day sale. They were trying to be like Prime and offering sales, it was like, they were like 20% off for me and a limit of 3, I was like, yeah, but I really don't want to spend $150 on a 8-port switch,
Yeah, I would
It's like-
spend $30 on one, no
I'm
problem.
gonna drop that kind of money on a unmanaged switch. I'd rather go buy one of those little NAS boxes for like 300 with all the connectors on it and still get my 8 ports with, being able to hook drives and run a, true NAS on top of it too.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's weird. The whole market's all security right now. It's probably not gonna get any better. It's just gonna get crazier.
I know AliExpress has started, at least some of the sellers have warehouses here in the States now,
Oh,
and you can select. And it's usually a little bit more if you pick the states, but you'll get it within
yeah.
3 or 4 days.
Yeah. Well, that's let's talk here, the chips I bought for my Dell 7810. Got a pair of them for $13. They shipped from Illinois.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
But if
But I
you,
was like, but China's bought up, buying all the computer scrap, taking the chips out, and then just reselling the chips.
you're absolutely right though, because when I buy stuff from AliExpress, even Amazon, I don't care how long it takes. I'm looking at price. I want to know
Yeah.
I'm getting the best
I don't
deal.
mind waiting a week if I'm getting it for $30, for a pair of, chips that Amazon wants $200 a pop for,
A week. I've got stuff on order from a month and a half ago.
I'd
It's
be,
clearing customs.
I'd
Yeah.
be saying, I'd be getting on them about that, because that's way too
No,
long.
I've gotten everything I've ever ordered. This is keycaps, so whatever. It's plastic. It's not going to get hurt.
Well, that's the thing, is usually when they drag it out that far, is like they get the money and then they never ship you anything.
That's why you need to file a claim
Ollie
now or
isn't-
something.
Ollie hasn't closed it.
Yeah. But they
They're-
will.
They will-
somewhere. There's a maximum date they'll go out and.
They,
If you didn't
I
complain,
think
I
they'll
it's
ordered
pay
60
it.
days.
PCAPs from them before and it's taken
Okay.
a month and a half, 2 months.
All right, no, I'm just saying, I
I
know
think
Amazon
it's-
will
I
close
think
it
it's
out and you're
60 days.
stuck, that you got screwed.
Oh,
Cause Amazon only allows you to file a complaint for so long.
Yeah. So.
And if
so
they
there's-
find out the vendor's bullshit vendor, they'll
Mm-hmm.
just kill it, then you can't file a claim against it,
yeah.
and they eat your transaction, cause
The,
it's scammers. Are-
See,
This is
I'm-
AliExpress, not Amazon.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's what I'm
AliExpress,
saying. I've had
AliExpress
stuff
has
never
a
come from
maximum day.
AliExpress too.
They have a maximum.
Right.
They'll close it. They'll give the seller the money after, I think, 60 days.
Mhm.
So I would,
Yeah.
I
Well,
would,
that's, I'm just
why-
saying, that's-
I mean,
I've had,
'cause I've never, here recently, it's always been within 3 weeks. I mean, I've never had one
Hmm.
I've
go,
got.
I've
stuff
gotten
pretty
a
quick.
lot of stuff fairly quick, and one thing that came from an American shipper in 4 days. But most of the stuff I get, it's a month.
I started buying stuff directly from M5 Stack because it actually was a little tiny bit cheaper because they AliExpress has to make a little bit of money, so they tack a little extra
Well, yeah,
on.
well, they're a transaction fee, just like Amazon.
Yeah.
That's what, I mean, that's a
Well-
complete copy of Amazon.
It's I think it's more in their shipping. You know, AliExpress charges so much for shipping, and if you get it shipped directly to you, you can save a little bit in the shipping cost.
Well,
But they all go through the same thing. I ordered stuff directly from M5 Stack. And then I ordered some stuff on AliExpress the same day, about the same time. It all came at one time in a big pouch. So they all just dump it into a mail center somewhere and ship it anyway.
It's all in the same warehouse.
We have roughly, I don't know, 22 minutes, so I really need to know, do people use that Wix site? Should I even bother updating that Wix site anymore, and or should I just kill it?
You said that they were getting ready to charge more because
We're
the
not,
number of
we're on the
users?
free, we're on the free plan, and apparently
how many users are there on it?
that's just really not many. I think 11, 10 or 11.
Probably 10, and at 11 they, so did you add somebody and they sent you a notice?
No, apparently they've changed policies or
Yeah.
something.
yeah, they want money.
They want money.
It's like,
We're freeloading, and we're not, we don't even do a lot of traffic or anything. I don't know if anybody
can-
uses it.
I can give you space for a website.
See,
WordPress. I mean, well, you can put whatever you want there, but WordPress is what I'm used to.
I would be willing to buy a domain for
Yeah.
$10 or whatever it costs,
I'm paying,
but I don't want to pay any extra for
Yeah.
a site.
I'm paying $15 a year for 3 domains. I host them all off my own hardware.
Can you host more domains, or
Yeah, but
does it
I'm
cost?
paying $60 a year for my DNS.
Okay,
And that gives me, like, I could give a host name to my phone, and when it connects to a network, it shows up with that IP address. I like that, but I'm limited to 3 domains
okay.
and effectively an unlimited number of hosts per domain. I'm going to drop one of them in 6 months or so.
Well, see, I'm not even sure if we really need a website. I mean, that was.
Well, it was nice because it's got all the projects and everything on it.
It had,
for people to go
it did,
look
but
at, but it's such a pain in the butt that you gotta keep moving it around because the platforms keep going completely.
it was nice. But I haven't really updated any
Anything.
projects.
Yeah.
For a couple of years because I just don't know if people are actually using it,
I haven't logged into it for 2 years.
at least.
So
I say we kill
I
it.
hated Wix.
Well,
I just didn't like it and I was like, yeah, whatever. But there was that the links were all at the bottom of the email to the projects anyway, wasn't it?
and all those links, as far as I know, are still around, but nobody can update any of that stuff. I mean, that was all with Jim's control.
You have credentials on it? Admin credentials?
I don't have admin. I have some right privileges, but only to my stuff, not to anybody else's stuff.
I'm pretty good with WordPress. If you can archive it,
Oh,
I
you
can
mean
recreate-
Wix, on Wix? Yeah, I'm an admin on Wix.
okay, I can recreate it. If you're happy with the way it looks. Yeah.
I
I'll give
just
you
don't
that
know how
space.
many people would use it. That's,
Well,
WordPress is probably easier to deal with than Wix version of WordPress.
substantial.
it was basically a
And it's
form that
always
we
a
set up.
HubSpot.
It wasn't really a WordPress thing. It was
Well, I'm pretty sure that Wix used WordPress,
on the
Intern.
underside.
Yeah.
On the backside.
but they were not good at keeping it updated, and I update mine religiously.
Well,
Once I got popped by the Russians this morning. It had an alert, Russian IP, blah, blah, blah. Well, it had an IP address. I looked it up, it was Russian. And it said it dumped all this stuff in one of the folders, and I was like, restore. I didn't even look. I was like, I actually had an old copy of this site. I just hit restore. Punched update this, update names, update plugins, update.
I
Mine
will,
automatically does a check every night at midnight.
Yeah.
And auto updates if I don't go in and fix it within a day.
Yeah, well,
It gives me 24 hours.
I haven't worked on that site. It was these sites were built by some dude that's been gone for 5 years. It's all. It was like supposedly it got popped because it was on PHP 5 something like that. And it was set for 7.2, so I'm not sure why the site was complaining and saying it was still on 5.6 or whatever. But now it's on 7.4 and running the current version of everything. So I was like, it won't go to. I can't take it to 8 because it blows up. So I gotta get in and figure out what's wrong with it. But I was shocked that I did get the site up that easy running on the current version of WordPress. So they'll probably keep them out
I'll log into
at least for today.
I'll log into Wix and see if I can archive everything and kill it because I don't know. I mean, the other thing we could do is just email everybody all the chat at the end of the meeting, which is free and cheap.
Yeah. Well, I just hate to lose all those projects to this. I've never looked through them all, but it is interesting.
I've got an archive of all my projects from way back,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't know how to archive anybody else's projects from way back. I mean,
Well, if you're an admin, you can
I
pull directly out of the database.
you're talking about from when Jim had it, right?
Well,
Because that's when I was doing
Google
all
things, but then I say that's I figured out all that those stuff got moved over to the Wix, didn't it?
No,
Well,
some of it did, but not all of it.
yeah, I hate to see all that get lost is all one thing I say. Because there are people that look around for that kind of stuff and hobbyists and stuff. I mean, most people put it all on YouTube anymore and try to make money off of it, but
Well, YouTube's driving me nuts too, so
yeah. Well,
YouTube's trying to make money off of everybody and not giving up any money.
yeah, well, there's that, and that's why half the people do Patreon and stuff now.
But
Just do their hooks on YouTube, but there's,
I don't, I don't want to. I don't want to necessarily pay for hosting.
yeah, no.
It might be all right, but. I mean, if it's going to put any kind of financial pressure on anybody, then I don't want to do that.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. It's the reason why I never really had a website. I talked to him and he's the plug group or whatever and stole one off him, but I still haven't even sat down and made it. So it still says this needs to be worked on.
This needs to be a thing.
I've used it for testing some stuff for work, because I've got the domain tied to the same thing or whatever through Cloudflare, but which is kind of interesting.
Hey, can I throw something in there?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Ray.
I have two really nice servers that Steve helped me put together, and those servers have been turned off for a few months. And I'm actually selling the MediClinic location, so I'm going to be moving those servers to somewhere else. We're actually looking at getting high-speed internet over at Rabbit, possibly also getting high-speed internet over at the Journal Building, and we can put whatever we want onto the servers.
Okay.
What are you doing with your old servers, or what were they?
It's a Dr. Steve.
Ray knows lasers. He doesn't know servers.
They're
They're
Dell
actually really nice.
R720s with
Noisy things.
16, I believe, 2.5-inch slots. With like 8 drives in each one and a pile of memory. Like lots and lots of memory.
Why don't I do this? Let me see if I can archive the Wix site.
There's like hundreds of gigabytes of RAM.
Hundreds.
There is.
Let me see if I can archive the Wix site, and then we don't really have to make a decision right away. We could figure out something later if people miss it or whatever.
That's what TV.
So
I feel sad that my servers aren't being used.
it seems like there's some options available, so that's good. But you're not. Do I?
I'm sad.
You're
Sad. I'm sad that the servers aren't being used.
See, the site that
Well, why'd you turn them off, Ray?
Because I shut down the Urgent
Oh,
the Wix site, it can't be using more than, it's probably not even using a gig of
You
space.
can run it on a Raspberry
I
Pi.
can run it on a Raspberry Pi. That Wix site, it probably, and traffic wise is minimal. I mean,
probably host it at home.
I could if I was allowed.
What keeps you from being?
Well, I guess as long as they don't port scan me or whatever, I guess nothing.
Who would stop you?
Yeah, I'm running
But you're
multiple sites from home.
but you're paying for static
Just for
scan.
DNS. No, I'm not paying for a static.
Oh,
And so I've got
What's that?
Optics, and since 2017, my IP address has changed like 25 times.
You can do
mine
Cloudflare too for free, kind of like port.
Yeah,
mine randomly
It'll
rotates.
automatically update
It's
whenever
really
you connect to
weird.
the internet.
Since I've had AT&T, AT&T Air, I have seen 6 or 7 different IP addresses. It randomly rotates for no good reason that I can
It's
see.
probably in your cell tower, aren't you?
Yeah,
So it's probably regenerating cell keys
it probably is.
because the stuff's so
And
freaking weak.
right now, currently, I am, according to my IP address, I'm in Louisiana.
Yeah,
I'm in Pennsylvania now.
I have been in Michigan, I have been in New York, I have been in California. I have been on all over the place, but never in Ohio. I,
The last big power outage out there is when they brought us back up and fixed the fiber or whatever for the tree going through, and now it says I'm in Philadelphia.
really?
Yep.
With optics.
I don't know why, but it was very eye-opening to me when I saw the logs on. So I've been in charge of the websites for work, trying to upgrade and migrate off the CentOS 7 box or whatever. So anybody touches it, it like, here's an IP address. So I watched for that. Yeah,
It's time for an update.
yes, it is. So anyhow, it throws this big blur. So I take the IP address and I like to back, look them up to see, figure out who the hell it is that's logging in, because there's only a couple people that have access to that. And it's like, this is like tracking back to like Philadelphia. I'm like, who the hell's that? We don't have anybody even in Pennsylvania. It's me. I'm like, what the crap?
well, I first noticed it when I was trying to get directions from Google Maps, and I said, use my location.
Yeah.
And it put me in Washington, and I'm like,
Yeah. Well, see, all those
What
things still
the-
pop up as a Bethel, but my IP tracks back to the Cincinnati Bell and it's or Optics or whatever, it says it's out of Philadelphia.
That's weird,
Yeah.
because mine says Eastgate. I
well,
mean, it's got me down to the neighborhood.
Well, as I say,
when I
if you
had-
go to a page and like just Google blank page, it says, like you say, food near me, it's like Bethel. It knows, it says it, and the maps, everything's like my house. But if you pull up and do a reverse lookup on the IP, it says it's a Philadelphia knock.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
see,
Google's probably got your location information
Yeah.
from your phone or something.
mine is kind of. I have seen it one time be close-ish, but it was still 100 miles away.
Yeah.
But
I think they even fixed the Apple Map, because the Apple Map used to say I was down the street across
it
the corner.
every time, even if I go to, what's my location or whatever, find my location or whatever it is, it will tell me, like right now, it will tell me I'm in Louisiana.
Yeah.
But when I had Spectrum, it was within a couple of blocks of my house, and I was like, that's kind of creepy, actually.
MaxMind is usually pretty darn accurate for location.
Well, I mean, I've got my home address set, so I just go and click on home instead of my current location or whatever, but it's like so annoying. I go to some random site and it says blah, blah, blah from Louisiana. I'm like, what? No, I'm in Ohio. Leave me
I
alone.
don't know, I might kind of like that.
I,
Yeah,
what,
that's it,
I-
deliver a pizza.
I talked to a half a dozen other people, and they were all like, well, that sounds like great privacy filtering. So,
My phone rang on the way over here and it said Bethany, Ohio, and it had Leroy underneath it. It's the only reason I even answered it, because I thought maybe you were trying to call and tell me you were canceling the meeting. And it was some guy pretending to be from State Farm, trying to tell me that they have such great deals right now that they're lowering their prices. At which point I hung up. Then I was sitting at the stoplight. A few minutes later, I pulled up my phone and it said it came from someplace in Florida. I'm like, what the?
my phone, I don't think my phone would have said I'm from Bethany.
Well, but that's what I was saying. I didn't know where Bethany, Ohio was, but it said Leroy underneath is the only reason, and I got you in my phone. So I thought, well, that's weird. That
wild.
must be you. And that's the like I said, if it didn't say Leroy, I wouldn't have answered. I don't know if they'd
Bethany
was scrambling my phone or what the hell.
Anthony's not too far away. It's up on
Yeah.
Yankee Road,
Is it?
off the Yankee.
As I said, if it had
That's
said
the
Leroy
middle.
under it, I wouldn't have clicked it, but then it was like some guy, it sounded like he was hopped up on drugs and he's going, "Oh, from State Farm. And we're lowering our prices and they've got this great deal for you, you know."
All right, Mr. Ray, I'm gonna shut down. We've only got the room until 6:30. And I don't really see people, but I've seen people walk past, so,
Good night.
so. We are virtual next week, so I will see you next week, hopefully.
Okay. Well, want to say thank you for everybody that came to the little demonstration,
Thank you.
and maybe we'll do it again some other time. Make some stuff.
See you Saturday, maybe.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah, I can basically just coast.
See you later.
See you later.